Hi, this is Emmanuel from Weaf Company Uganda Limited. In this video session, I'm going to be taking you through what we call the Weaf EFRIS API. So basically, EFRIS integration has taken a huge step towards the Ugandan market. That in most cases, all applications, also softwares, the customer applications and the common softwares used across the world, those that penetrate in Uganda. If your application doesn't support EFRIS integration, then you stand out to lose on the Ugandan market. So as Weaf Company Uganda Limited, we decided to allow or to start working with other companies or software companies such that they are in position to integrate our API into their solutions, and we always co-partner on that. So on my screen, you're seeing what we call the Weaf EFRIS API. To access this Weaf EFRIS API, just go to your browser, you look for Weaf EFRIS API .space. So you'll be able to get this API documentation that clearly states or clearly explains to you how you are able to communicate with this API. So in the introduction, we state that this documentation provides everything you need to integrate with the EFRIS system. It is a simplified API. So if you're building an application or you're integrating an existing application, our goal is to make it as simple as possible for you to be able to have your application compliant with the Uganda Revenue Authority. So this API is used by all companies. Those who are VAT registered and those that are not VAT registered can still use the same API. On the left hand side, we have the different modules that are supported by the API. In the center, we have the explanation of the different selected modules. Then on the right hand side, we have the sample data. We have the shell. If you're making this request in Postman, this is what we expect. Then you can switch this to any programming language. If you're a Java developer and you want to see how you can integrate the API into your Java application, you can always switch here and select the any language that you're developing. Then you can go ahead and see how you're supposed to format your data so it can easily communicate with the API. Then at the top here, we have what we are calling the live testing. So with live testing, I'll open this in a new tab. It will take you to the API documentation or the swag, where you are in position to test this API directly and obtain the response. Here on Weaf EFRIS API.space domain, we document for you the API in details. Then in the live testing, we give you the different endpoints. Then you can go ahead and execute any of this, and you see the kind of response that the API returns. So you see the kind of response the API returns. Now, if before we go any further, while you're using this API, we try to wrap most of you who might have tried to integrate EFRIS. Some of you have tried, some of you haven't tried. EFRIS is somehow complicated. So we try to wrap all those complexities to make sure that for you can easily integrate with the API easily. We give you the sample codes for testing, and the other thing is that this API is very reliable and stable. Very reliable and stable. That is one thing you can be guaranteed. So the reason what you need to do is, one, you need to sign up. Getting started, saying you need to sign up. To sign up, you don't need to, you just have to go to this URL, which is weafcompany.com. Then you go ahead and create your account if you don't have. Similarly, when you're here, it clearly specifies that you're supposed to create an account at this point. So here you log in. If you already have an account, you just go ahead and access the account. Open this menu tab. If you don't have an account, go ahead and click on register. Kindly note, you can sign up using Google, and then you can as well create your details. If you're going to be using the API and generating the tokens dynamically, then you're required to create your account by entering this information, not signing up with Google. If you sign up using Google, it is very simple and straightforward, but you'll have to be generating the tokens manually in your account and then transfer them to your application for authentication. So if you're going to be using this endpoint for authentication, then you are required to fill in this form. Then you go ahead and submit. Make sure you verify your email address after doing that. Other than that, any services might be disallowed. Yes. If you don't save verification code in your email, kindly check the spam folder and verify your email address. So we clearly state here that verify your account after sign up. Check your spam folder if you don't. This is very clear and straightforward. Then after that, go ahead and log into your account. Tell you go to companies and billing. Now I already have an account here, so this time around I'll not sign up, I'll just sign in. And go ahead and sign up. So basically we do have two-factor authentication for security reasons. This might be a developer account on your side, and you might be dealing with so many, like a lot of information for your clients. So it is ideal you focus on the security. I'll just go ahead and enter this. By the time you're seeing this video, So by the time you're seeing the video, your token will not be working because it keeps changing. So how do you set up the two-factor in case you need one? Just come here and click on manage. So after clicking on manage, you'll go ahead and scan the QR code to set up the two-factor authentication. Okay. You have your backup codes. You can go ahead and disable this. After you enter your password, then you can disable the two-factor. So back to the documentation. Says log in your account, go to companies and billing, then my companies, then click add company. So we come to company and billing, we come to my accounts. Under my accounts, you go ahead and click on add company. So the next step says, this is a sample. Okay. It says these are just trying to illustrate for you the areas of concern that you might need to address. Now we say your device number must already exist in EFRIS and be approved. If your device is not registered or approved in EFRIS, we will charge this. For device application, it is a one-off charge. It's a one-off charge. So you can do self-integration, but you need to have a device number in your EFRIS account. And we are giving you an example here. Device number format is the example is this. Is the TIN number of the client _01 or 02 or 03. These are the devices for the virtual, the ones which communicate to URA directly. This. If you don't have one in your account, we charge you 250,000 as specified here. If you already do have it, then that is okay. You don't need to pay this. I'm going to just log in the EFRIS test here. So I demonstrate to you something regarding this device number. And for you, if you're the company owner and you would like to connect to or to access EFRIS, your test account, one, you need first communicate to URA so that they can sync your data to the test account. So after syncing your data to the test account, you will also go ahead and tell them to give them an email address that you want them to set so that you can be able to receive OTP. As you've seen, for me to log in my account, I need to have the OTP, which OTP comes from URA. So that is very key. So we'll continue as I wait for the OTP, but you need to make sure you have a device number in your account. The device number starts with the TIN number of the client _01. One thing you should note is that in your account you can have as many clients as you want. Yeah. So basically, this portal, we can call it a developer portal, but it can still be used by the companies, not the developer. Yes. For the companies, especially those who are using our products that already have EFRIS integration. Other than that, for you who is developing your own solution, then or as a company, you can sign up, set up everything, then to give access to your developer who is implementing to go ahead and do what? And do the implementations. Another thing you have to note is that, okay, this is the form. We need the company details, company business name, legal name, all these details. We need them. Then we need, we have a section for SSL management where you go ahead and upload your SSL, or you can obtain one from us. And what we are saying about the SSL is that you need to upload your private key. Okay, this supports PFX and P12, as you can see, with lots of updates that keep coming up. So you can now support these two file formats. You set the password of your key and you set the expiry date. And we also say, if you don't know how to generate this or extract the company, we also do this for you at 100,000. And basically you can do this within your account. Everything is, we have tried to automate everything to make sure that you who is coming to partner with us on this project or on the API or anything related to EFRIS, at least everything is simplified for you. You don't have to go through lots and lots of things. So there are two things here to note. One, you need a device number in your account. Device number is _01, something like that. It is a requirement. You really need it. You really need it. So you have to note that it is a requirement. It is seriously needed, and for someone to be in position to test the API fully, one is required to have that device number. Use it for communication. Yes. So I'll just try another account, see if we can get the OTP so I can show you what exactly I mean by the device number. So if the OTPs are not coming, okay, so we need this device application or device number in your account, and then we also need this. Then you can go ahead and generate the access token. You can immediately, for a testing environment, you can immediately start off. For production, you shall need a letter. This type of letter is something like this. We need this in a letter. You sign this letter and stamp it. You can download this template here. Just click on this to download it. You fill in your details. You go ahead and sign and stamp, or you can print on the headed paper. Then so this device application is what said we charge it, and the SSL certificate we also charge it. Now I'm going to show you how you can quickly, this is the base URL, and we are using this. So I'm going to quickly show you. For any reasons or supporting anything, kindly email us on this, or you can reach out on WhatsApp. Okay, you can call or WhatsApp using these numbers, that number. Now that is the brief overview for the EFRIS API. When you're in your account here, just go ahead and pick, just go ahead, enter the TIN number. You can fill in these manually, or go ahead and enter the TIN numbers. Then you click on fetch details. The system will send a request to URA and obtain the details of that particular client. So now like this one, there is no phone number, so you can now fill in this. If it was there, we'll set it there. So you can see this is the response from URA. Go ahead and just confirm these. These are all pre-filled in. Then you can upload your certificate. Okay, you can upload your certificate and set even the password. Then you can go ahead and submit this, or you can submit even without the certificate and password. Then you can edit later on to add that. So for you says, but now where can I get the SSL certificate? How can I do this? Certificates are available in your account. Just come to SSL certificates, come to my certificates, then go ahead and generate. We offer free 3 certificates, but these free ones, they expire after every month. So we offer a maximum of 3 certificates that do expire monthly, like every 30 days. So for production, you are required to go ahead and click on generate SSL certificate. After clicking on generate this, if you want test, you pick this, the free ones. If you want for production, it is what we specified here that we charge for the certificate, and the figure is 100,000. So I'll go ahead and click on paid SSL. Then after clicking on paid SSL, I'll specify, do you want it in 1 year, you want 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. You can see the more years, the lower the price. So if you want for 1 year, you pay 100. You want more than 1 year, you pay basic this, but we give a maximum of 5 years. For you want more than 5 years, you can always communicate to us, and we shall generate one for you. So go ahead. After leaving it, let's say you want for 1 year, I'll go ahead and select the company. After I created my company, so I'll go ahead and select the company that I want this certificate for. Let me just pick one from here. I'll select the company. The system will pre-fill in these details. You can adjust accordingly. If you're going to use it to the domain, probably on your machine locally, you need to change this. Then you have to go ahead and set the password. Let's say I'm going to set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, for EFRIS, always maintain this. Always maintain this. So the password I'll set 1 to 6. Then after doing this, I'll go ahead and click on, password must be up to 8. Okay, so let me say 6, 7, 8. Then I go ahead and generate certificate. So after generating your certificate, you will have it here. But however, you will not be able to access the details of this certificate until you trigger the payment which you selected and specified. You can't preview the digital certificate pre-filled in. You can't preview the thumbprint. So you're required to go ahead and finalize the payment. How do you do that? You click on proceed payment. You will see the summary. Now you can choose which one to pay, either online or offline. If you pay online, the system will automatically approve your request after the payment is successful, and you're able to download your certificate, or you're able to download the certificate form, for URA. If you decide to say offline, this one requires approval. You need to go ahead and make payment to this company. You make the payment specified here to this company account in the names of this company, Uganda Limited. For those who make in other currencies, you can always use this. So you go ahead and make payment to this. If you're taking this to your bank, go ahead and download this to have the details of the company that you can take to your bank for payment purposes. This, for any inquiries, you can mail or contact these numbers. So you go ahead and download this. This is a summary of what you're paying for, and here are the settlement details for the company. Now, after making payment, come here, then go ahead and do what? And upload the payment proof. I will just upload this what we downloaded. License number, say that. After doing that, if you have any remarks, you can go ahead and add here. Then you can go ahead and submit. Please note, your SSL certificate will be activated after admin verification of your payment. This usually takes 1 to 2 business days. But if you pay online, online you can pay using mobile money, you can pay using bank accounts or the Visa cards. They are all supported. For online, it is approved immediately, automatically by the system after it has verified the payment is successful. For offline, you have to wait between 1 to 2 days for the payment to reflect, based on how all the procedures used, if it was an EFT or it was an RTG. Then once it reflects and we verify it, then we approve the certificate for you to be able to download. Other than that, for if it is something urgent, then you are advised to use the online payment, which automatically verifies the payment, and then the certificate is auto approved. So I'll go ahead and submit this. So submitted the request, it is pending approval. So I'll just pause the video a bit and make do the approval, then we can proceed. So after having a certificate approved or your payment approved, when you refresh this very page, you are now able to see your certificate thumbprint. So this is your certificate thumbprint that you're supposed to submit to EFRIS or to register in EFRIS account, and it is what we use for data encryption. Then this is the public key. I'll just go ahead and download this by clicking on it. I'll also go ahead and download the private key. At the bottom here we have the password that we set, so you can always see it. This is the password which was set. Yeah. Now we have here, you can preview the EFRIS form. You can preview the EFRIS form. Let me download this. Okay, company assignment. Okay. Just a moment. So you will be in position to preview your certificate like this. So this is a filled in certificate form, the certificate form that you go ahead and submit to your EFRIS account. This is filled in by the system. Go ahead and download this, then sign here, specify your date, sign, and the name. So you can have two people sign or one person can sign, it is okay. This is a thumbprint to submit to URA during the process, do a template application, and then you have to wait for you on production. It has to be approved by URA before you can finalize the steps. On test, it is not. It automatically approves once you make an application. That is one way or the other on what you're supposed to do or what you can do here. So back to our side where we're on billing, you need to go ahead and specify the details of your company. You need to go ahead and specify the details of your company. That is one. Secondly, we have seen there are you may incur two kind of charges here, for the certificate and then for the device application. Certificate is paid, so you're supposed to pay it annually. However, if you generated a certificate for 5 years, then you'll be billed at once, and those 5 years you'll never pay for the certificate again. But if you generated it for 1 year, after every 1 year you'll have to go ahead and generate a new one and register with URA. So now, having looked at those two things, the third thing to do is you need the API license. So by default, when you create a company, you specify your private key, the password, device application. By default, we give you your account is connected to a sandbox, which you can test without the license. The license is unlimited. But if you want to migrate to production and point to production, then at that point you are required to go ahead and make a subscription or a payment. How do you do that payment? For production, still in your account, you come to my company. This time around, you come to billing. Under billing, you go ahead and create a new bill. Under create a new bill, you go ahead and for URA, you will come down here and you choose your company. You go ahead and choose your company. After choosing your company, if you are not paid for device application or you don't have it, you can select this. Or ideally, if you hadn't paid for the SSL from the other side, you can also select this. But this option supports 1 month, 1 year. Then, okay, let's switch to annual for certificate. For the basic, you can obtain a license of 1 M per year. Then premium is 1.2, and then enterprise is 1.3, 1.5, sorry. You can always click on this to view the details for the different packages. Now, So we have a device application, we have SSL certificate, which amounts to this. However, not device application is optional if you already have one. If you don't, then it is required. So based on what we selected here, you will receive unlimited API access, priority support, and this. Okay, so now here your total becomes 1.35. You go ahead and scroll down and click proceed to payment. Under proceed to payment, you will have two options. One, to pay online via Flutterwave, or to pay offline. If offline, again download the payment sheet, make the transfer to the bank between 1 to 2 business days, then you will have your account approved or rejected based on your payment status. For online, it is handled instantly. So if I chose, last time we looked at offline, if I chose online payment, then click on this will open a Flutterwave payment page. You have an additional charge for all breakdown, which is for Flutterwave. This is what you're paying and this is the charge. So the total becomes this. You can pay this for mobile money by entering your phone number here where they're going to get the money. So you can switch to card, then you enter your card details and you can select this or no. Then you can go ahead and click on pay now. Those options are available. Okay, basically those are some of the things you need to do for you who is out there. Please note, for the API, you have to, every client you will have to pay for them annually, to subscribe annually. Yes, with the future, in the future, with the time being, well, with time, there may be revisions in the payment structures where I might reach a point and we are billing per API per requests. So, but you can have everything set on your side and you can go ahead and start using the API. Now we have looked at the onboarding part. We now have the authentication. Says we call this endpoint. Please note, we specified in our introduction at the bottom here, at the base API, at the base URL is weafcompany.com. This same thing when you come to the Swagger, where to access this from Weaf EFRIS API space, I click on live testing. We said the base, this is the base for production, so it is this slash this. So we have under authentication, we have the endpoint, which is a post. If at all it was a shell, this is how it's supposed to be. You pass in username, password, you pass in the expiry period and the token name. If you're in PHP or in Java, sorry, you will go ahead and copy this. This is what you're supposed to, how you can handle that. You can always copy this to a clipboard and take it somewhere. We go ahead and explain the parameters. Username is a string, so we go ahead and specify and explain this for you. Then we also explain the response. Then we tell you use your token in API requests. Okay, that is very key. Then we have event configuration. Under event configuration, we have endpoints, like you can see them from here. Sync products, we have register products, we have get goods and services, we have one for post, and we have one for get. So if you choose sync and you have here Java, the rest it will change. This sample that will change, and you see what you're supposed to send. I'm just going to copy this. I'm just putting a supply one. So when you copy this Java file, you see you need you need a class, then you pass in the TIN number, you need to pass in your token. After passing in your token, you have to call the base URL of the API. Then you need to pass in this TIN number here, which has already been declared and initialized. You pass it here, then you append the endpoint. You make sure you send it as a post request, and you pass the bearer token in the header. The API setting, we have goods and services, so you pass them as empty strings. As you can see, let's say if I'm on the shell here, you pass them as empty strings. Then these ones, to get all, or you can add the page size and the page number. Then we have goods and services. Goods and services, we have the get, and then we have the post. Then we have the endpoint for registering a new product, which is this. For registering a new product, these are the attributes. Goods name, which is a string. We need a goods code, measure unit, and measure unit we gave you a sample of this, dozen and so on. But these measure units are available even in your account. When you come to master data and you come to measure units, you are in a position to have all these. They are available. You can call the master data endpoint on the API. So these are the measure units. So for URA you pass, if you are meaning one USD, then you pass in this. If you are meaning this, you pass in this. These are the measure units. Then you need the unit price, the currency. Currency we gave you here 101 stand for AGX, 102 the breakdown. But still in your account under master data, save currencies, we have them here listed for you. Then commodity category code, this is NSPSC code from. So for this one, you can also have it in your account, or you have it in your account. Just come to master data, then commodity categories, they are here. You can export this in Excel, CSV, or JSON. One thing you have to know, that these categories, we have the ones for inventory and we have the ones for services, as you can see by the filter. If you use a category for an inventory to register the service, you will be required to add stock before you can invoice. So you have to make sure that you categorize your items in the correct categories. And one thing to note is that some items you may fail to get the exact category, where you just need something similar to that which exists. But that is what you're supposed to do when it comes to that part. So basically we go ahead and explain for you is, so for registering a new product, register. This is what we expect, or the API expects. Pass in this endpoint, pass in your team, pass in your direct token and the header, then you send this product array with this data. The custom fields, these ones you can send them as empty strings, or you can pass them in if at all you're configuring that item to also support exports. Yes. It is also explained here for unit or measure configuration. If an item supports 1 unit, then these attributes have to be like this. Have this unit, make it 102, and the rest leave empty strings. Otherwise, you will have to fill it in. If the item supports both, then you have to fill in these, which were blank at the other side. Here you have to fill in. Now to explain this, this one means the main measure unit is dozen. However, 1 package scale unit, 1 dozen is equivalent to 12 pieces. This is what it means. So it means someone can sell in dozen, can sell in pieces. So you just have to go ahead, then we explain for exports. Non-export products, make these ones into strings. Otherwise, if you want it for export, then you go ahead and set the corresponding values like this. Then we gave you sample product categories that you can use for testing for service and inventory. As I said, you have these in your account. You can always obtain them from here. Now the rest of the thing, then we also have stock management. For stock management, we are looking at the different endpoints. We have increase stock, decrease stock, and stock transfer. All these are handled. For stock transfer, we use this, and then we specify the source branch, destination branch. We have query this. Okay. However, one thing to note here is you always require the EFRIS branch IDs to be in position to do the stock transfer. We have an endpoint here for EFRIS branches, which is this. You can always go ahead and call this until we try for you the different branches that a particular business has. So this has one branch. Now this becomes the branch ID that you're supposed to pass in here at the point of source ID or destination ID, branch ID. So we still have the different languages here for increase stock. This is what we expect in Postman, or the request, how the request should be. Then with the different languages, you can go ahead and switch and see how you can implement it. We have the endpoint for invoices, credit notes, registration details, Unity projects, reports, and we continue to add more things here. Now I'm going to be talking about invoicing. Invoicing, so the endpoint for creating invoice. For invoices, VAT registered users use this. Then for VAT non-registered users, non-VAT use this, they issue e-receipts. Then we explain this. We give you the sample data here. We go ahead and also give you sample data here. Or you can review a shell to see how the data should be formatted. And we give you a sample response. Here is the sample response. Then we go ahead and explain to you the details of each attribute. Buyer business name always required. Buyer team required when buyer type is 0 or 3. It is optional when it is 1 or 2. So we go ahead and break down these and explain the different buyer types, different industries. So you just have to go through this documentation carefully. For VAT invoices with the discount, we give you a sample. Then for receipts, you also specify what you're supposed to pass in, how your request should look like, in the reference number, issue date, details of the operator, buyer details, then the item. So for receipts, if you pass the tax rule or standard, the receipt will have a tax. If you don't, it won't have a tax. If you pass exempt or zero rated, it won't have a tax. Yes. So we have the EFRIS web API and the EFRIS offline server API. So this is the web API that clearly tells how different modules work with different, or how you are able to integrate the EFRIS API step by step into your project to simplify your work so that your system can be compliant with URA. Documentations keep changing as time after time. We have to keep making updates, and that is why the services are not a one-off, but someone has to keep subscribing. This very documentation, or the write-up you have been reviewing, is almost the same design for the offline server API, just a few things which change. But for you who has taken up the offline server API, and this one was taking the web API, you will still need to use the same documentation to go ahead and have your data or learn how to use the API step by step. I remain Emmanuel from Weaf Company, Uganda Revenue Authority. Thank you.